Welcome to Football Today TV. These is your home for updated football news. So feel free to share your opinions and remember to subscribe as we continue to grow our family. The UEFA Champions League always delivers drama, passion, and unforgettable moments. On a thrilling European night at St. James Park, Newcastle United were only seconds away from a famous victory against Barcelona. But in the final moment of the match, a young star changed the story completely. Barcelona's teenage sensation Lamine Yamal scored a dramatic penalty in the 96th minute to rescue a 1-1 draw for the Spanish Giants. The late goal broke Newcastle hearts and left the Champions League tie perfectly balanced before the second leg in Spain. The atmosphere inside St. James's Park was incredible from the very beginning. Newcastle fans knew how important this match was. It was one of the club's biggest European nights in many years, and the supporters created a powerful and emotional environment. From the first whistle, Newcastle showed energy, intensity, and confidence. The English side pressed high and made life very difficult for Barcelona. Their players ran tirelessly, challenged every ball, and showed no fear against the famous Spanish club. Barcelona, on the other hand, struggled to find their rhythm. The visitors had difficulty controlling possession and creating clear chances. Newcastle's strong defensive organization and aggressive pressing made it hard for Barcelona to play their usual style of football. As the first half continued, Newcastle began to believe even more. Their quick attacking players created several dangerous moments, forcing Barcelona's defense to stay alert. Barcelona did have a few attempts of their own, but they rarely looked truly dangerous. Newcastle's goalkeeper and defenders handled most of the attacks comfortably. The match remained goalless for a long time, but the tension inside the stadium continued to grow. Every tackle, every pass, and every shot was greeted with loud reactions from the crowd. In the second half, Newcastle became even stronger. They pushed forward with confidence and started creating better chances in attack. Barcelona's players looked uncomfortable under the constant pressure. The breakthrough finally came late in the match. In the 86th minute, Newcastle produced a beautiful attacking move. Jacob Murphy delivered a brilliant cross into the penalty area, and Harvey Barnes arrived at the perfect moment to finish the chance. Barnes struck the ball and sent it past the Barcelona goalkeeper. The stadium exploded with excitement as Newcastle took a 1-0 lead. For the Newcastle supporters, it felt like a historic moment. Their team had been the better side throughout the match, and now they were finally ahead against one of the biggest clubs in world football. The players celebrated with passion, knowing how important that goal could be. At that moment, it looked like Newcastle would secure a famous Champions League victory. Barcelona tried to respond quickly, but Newcastle continued to defend strongly. The home team fought for every ball and protected their lead with determination. As the clock moved closer to the final whistle, the excitement inside the stadium turned into anticipation. Newcastle fans could almost taste victory. But football is often unpredictable. Deep into stoppage time, Barcelona launched one final attack. The ball reached Dani Olmo, who was inside the Newcastle penalty area. Olmo made a clever move to beat defender Malik Thiaw. As he tried to turn past the defender, Thiaw stretched his leg and made contact. The referee immediately pointed to the penalty spot. Newcastle players protested, but the decision stood. Barcelona now had a huge opportunity to equalize with the final kick of the match. The responsibility fell on Lamine Yamal. Despite being only a teenager, Yamal showed incredible calmness. He walked confidently to the penalty spot while the Newcastle crowd tried to distract him with loud noise. It was a huge moment. One kick could change everything. Yamal took a deep breath, focused on the goal, and struck the ball. The shot was perfect. The ball flew into the net, and suddenly the score became 1-1. Barcelona players celebrated the late goal, while Newcastle players stood in disbelief. The final whistle came almost immediately after the penalty. In just a few seconds, Newcastle had gone from celebrating a famous victory to feeling deep disappointment. For Newcastle manager Eddie Howe, the result was extremely frustrating. His team had performed brilliantly for most of the match. They had worked harder, created more chances, and looked closer to winning. But football can be cruel, especially at the highest level. One small mistake at the end of the game was enough to change the entire result. Even though Newcastle were disappointed, there were still many positives to take from the match. Their performance showed that they can compete with one of Europe's strongest teams. Many players impressed during the game. Newcastle's attackers were energetic and creative, while the defenders worked tirelessly to stop Barcelona's dangerous players. For Barcelona, the draw felt almost like a victory. The Spanish club had struggled for much of the match, and they knew they were lucky to leave England with a result. Barcelona coach Hansi Flick admitted that his team did not play their best football. However, he also praised his players for fighting until the very last second. And that fighting spirit was exactly what helped Barcelona escape defeat. The hero of the night was undoubtedly Lamine Yamal. At such a young age, he showed incredible composure under extreme pressure. Taking a penalty in the final seconds of a Champions League match is not easy, especially in a hostile stadium. But Yamal handled the moment like an experienced star. His goal kept Barcelona alive in the competition and gave them a valuable advantage before the second leg. Now the focus shifts to the return match in Spain. The second leg will take place at Camp Nou, where Barcelona will have the support of their own fans. Playing at home could give them an important advantage. However, Newcastle have already proven that they are capable of competing with Barcelona. If they can produce another strong performance, they still have a chance to reach the quarter-finals. For football fans around the world, this dramatic first leg was another reminder of why the Champions League is so special. In this competition, the story of a match can change in a single moment. For Newcastle, it was a painful lesson. For Barcelona, it was a moment of relief. And for Lamine Yamal, it was another step in his growing reputation as one of football's most exciting young talents. The tie is now perfectly balanced. Everything will be decided in the second leg. And if the next match is anything like the first one, football fans can expect another unforgettable Champions League night.